My name is Regina and I am 28 years old. After 3 years of marriage, we finally conceived our first child. I resigned from the company where I had been working, prompted by my pregnancy, and now I spend my days as a full-time homemaker. My husband Preston is the eldest son of the Brown family, and even before getting married, he expressed the desire to live with my own parents someday. Around the first anniversary of our marriage, my mother-in-law developed a slip disc and became unable to perform household chores properly. At this point, I wondered about the feasibility of living together, but we decided to start cohabitating with my in-laws from that time. My in-laws are very gentle people, and we have no issues like mother-in-law and daughter-in-law conflicts. Moreover, they are always considerate of me, willingly helping with household chores. In return, I felt it was important not to rely on them too much. I took on tasks such as preparing meals and going shopping within my capabilities. When my mother-in-law learned about my pregnancy, she shed tears of joy and said, "Thanks to you, Regina, I can finally become a grandmother." Thank you.
Please prioritize your health and the baby in your belly over household chores. I'll take care of cleaning and laundry, so don't worry about it.
My father-in-law, genuinely looking forward to the birth of his first grandchild, even though it's still early in the pregnancy, said, "Regina, do you already know the baby's gender? My preference is for a girl, but thinking about the Brown family, maybe a boy would be better. Anyway, I just hope for a healthy baby to be born."
Both of them are genuinely kind and considerate, always putting my well-being first. My husband Preston has a very gentle temperament. Concepts like getting angry or feeling frustrated are completely foreign to him. He is also a caring person, always concerned about my well-being. Every morning he greets me with, "Good morning, Regina. How are you feeling? Is the baby in your belly doing well? I'll be working hard today, for you and our baby." He consistently expresses such sentiments, dedicated to my and the baby's well-being. My daily life has been smooth sailing in every aspect. It's a day-to-day existence that I can't express enough gratitude for. However, I began to sense the tranquility of our daily life gradually crumbling, making noise. It all started when Preston's sister Luciana began to visit our home frequently. Luciana, my sister-in-law, is a 22-year-old fourth-year university student. It seems her job hunting isn't going well, and lately she comes to our house almost every day, complaining and acting selfishly.
I'm so frustrated. I'm the only one in my class who hasn't secured a job. Every place I want to work at rejects me on paper, and the places I reluctantly apply to have ridiculously low salaries. I'm seriously the unluckiest girl.
She says this while casually opening the fridge, grabbing a cold beer, and wrapping herself in a blanket. When Luciana comes over, the peaceful atmosphere changes, and my in-laws become quiet, as if the air has frozen.
Hey, Regina. I'm hungry, so can you whip up something to go with beer? 3 side dishes, please.
She says this while sitting on the sofa, acting like a queen and sipping her drink. If Preston were here, he would sternly scold her, but unfortunately, he's at a company drinking party after overtime today.
Luciana, you shouldn't be so demanding. Regina is pregnant, you know? Moreover, you should prepare your own meals at least. Don't cause trouble for others. After all, Luciana is already an adult.
Even when I gently cautioned her, my sister-in-law paid no attention and continued doing whatever she pleased.
It's not a big deal. I mean, Regina isn't even that pregnant yet. And pregnancy isn't an illness, right? I think it's a problem to coddle pregnant women too much. Anyway, I'm fed up with various things. Hey, make dinner already. Stop daydreaming and start cooking.
She says this without noticing that we are all giving her cold looks. In the end, I followed my sister-in-law's request and prepared 3 side dishes, placing them on the table. However, once I finished cooking, she exploded with complaints.
If I gain weight from all these high-calorie dishes, it's your fault. And your brother, if he was going to get married, should have found someone who can cook decent meals.
She continued to criticize relentlessly. Well, no matter what my sister-in-law said, there's no one else in this family who rejects me. So I decided to just let her words go in one ear and out the other. That night, Preston apologized, saying, "Sorry, Regina. She came over again today, didn't she?" I scolded her before, but she never learns. It's really frustrating. Mom and Dad can't be firm with Luciana, it seems.
Sorry for taking it out on you.
He genuinely apologized. From what I heard before, despite not being overly spoiled, my sister-in-law has always been selfish and hard to handle. From nursery school to elementary school, she used to pick fights with boys, causing injuries regularly. In junior high, while she stopped getting into physical fights, she couldn't avoid trouble with other girls. Whenever the school called, my in-laws had to apologize in person, and it was a constant source of stress. Despite her troublesome behavior, if you didn't know her personality, she looks like an idol, incredibly cute, with an outstanding figure. People can't help but turn their heads as she walks by due to her striking beauty. So, since high school, she kept causing trouble in relationships, had no female friends or anyone she could call a best friend. Even when facing difficulties, she had no one to confide in. Despite all the trouble she causes, my sister-in-law never feels remorse. She firmly believes she's not at fault and that it doesn't concern her. Her thick-skinned attitude is undoubtedly a troublesome aspect. My in-laws seemed relieved when my sister-in-law announced she was leaving home to go to college. They advised her, if you're leaving, do it with the intention of not coming back. Work hard on your own without relying on us or Preston. Live independently. While such words from parents might normally evoke a sense of loneliness, my sister-in-law seemed to take it positively, even considering living on her own as something to boast about. After entering college, she rarely visited, but when her job hunting didn't go well in her 4th year, she started coming home frequently. I told Preston, with such a selfish personality, she probably won't do well in society. She needs to learn patience, otherwise nothing will work out. Besides, she needs to be more humble. Well, I don't care what people say, but being pregnant now and not feeling well on certain days, if I'm pushed around like today every day, it might get to me a bit. Preston promised to contact his sister and address the issue by tomorrow. After a while of silence, my sister-in-law for some reason asked if she could stay over for a week starting next week. My mother-in-law expressed concern, saying Luciana wants to stay over and isn't listening to what I say. What should I do? My mother-in-law expressed concern. Regina, even though my belly is getting bigger, I plan to handle the household chores. I'm concerned it might become stressful. Despite having a bad feeling, I agreed to let my sister-in-law stay over for a week. But it's already decided. I'll be fine. Besides, if Luciana is staying for a week, she should take care of herself. That was my response. However, my unpleasant feeling was spot on. As soon as my sister-in-law arrived home, she said,
I'm tired. Knowing I don't have to do anything around the house for a while makes me feel so relieved. Hey Regina, I'm hungry. Can you make something for me? I've just started a diet recently, so please make it as healthy as possible.
She quickly attempted to put me to work. I thought, what's with this person? But if that were the extent of it, I could have let it slide. However, she then said, sorry, but can you wash and iron this by tomorrow? Since you're pregnant and probably have a lot of free time, please take care of things around me. In front of a visibly pregnant woman, rather than expressing concern for her well-being, she was trying to delegate all household chores. Unbelievable. Yet no matter who warned her, my sister-in-law paid no attention. She would wake up at her preferred time, telling me to make breakfast, or asking if the laundry was done, and basically continued doing whatever she pleased. Fed up, I finally said, Luciana, I think you should take care of some things yourself. Both your father-in-law and mother-in-law aren't in great health, and I'm pregnant too, you know? Don't just do whatever you want. For the first time, I scolded my sister-in-law.
In response, she turned red with anger and retorted, Huh? What are you talking about? This is my parents' house. A stranger like you shouldn't be acting all high and mighty. Plus, who cares about being pregnant? It's irrelevant. Just clean up and make some food already.
She began speaking in a condescending tone. Despite feeling upset, I decided to keep things peaceful for now. With a simple yes, I conceded to my sister-in-law's demands.
See, you can do it if you try. You're just a daughter-in-law, so don't answer back. Just do as you're told. Anyway, no matter how hard you try, you'll never be a real part of our family.
She declared with that attitude. No matter how many times my in-laws and even Preston warned her, I feel like I understand why my sister-in-law doesn't get it. She's not just selfish, she seems to think everyone except herself is some kind of servant. She talks so rudely to her parents that it's appalling. Honestly, I think it's a waste of time dealing with someone like her. So as instructed, I finished the household chores and meal preparations. Just as this exchange was happening, Preston returned home from work.
Oh, Luciana was supposed to stay over today. I totally forgot. Try not to push Regina too hard. She's due to give birth soon, so she should handle her own things.
As Preston said that, predictably my sister-in-law started getting angry.
Oh, about that, haha. Because Regina emphasizes so much that she's pregnant, I had to tell her it's weird that she's not doing housework. Big brother, you shouldn't spoil Regina too much. Well, as long as I'm staying at my parents' house, I don't intend to receive special treatment just because she's pregnant.
She declared this, and my in-laws as well as us were left speechless in disbelief.
In a firmer tone than usual, cautioned his sister. Anyway, I've warned you. And Luciana, someday you'll get married and experience childbirth. When that time comes, apologizing and saying sorry won't make up for this. We won't forgive you.
My sister-in-law, upon arriving home, responded,
I don't need to rely on this family just because I'm pregnant. Since graduating from high school, I've been living on my own. Big brother, who's still clinging to our parents, will never understand my feelings. Well, do your best to give birth to a healthy baby, okay?
She answered as if mocking me. I no longer want to be involved with someone so unreasonable and selfish. That's what I truly felt. Afterward, I gave birth to a healthy boy, and we were spending busy, yet peaceful days at my in-laws. We named the child Frank, hoping he would grow straight and walk the right path. Frank was adored by our family and grew up healthy. With Frank's birth, my in-laws became even more proactive in helping with household chores and childcare.
My father-in-law would often say, Frank chose to be born into the Brown family. Thank you, Regina. Now that I've seen my grandchild's face, I have nothing more to wish for. I could go to heaven anytime.
My mother-in-law took the lead in changing Frank's diapers and would assist me when I was sleep-deprived. She'd say, I'll take care of Frank. So Regina, get some rest in your room. You need to get some sleep. Parenting is a physical challenge. You need to get some sleep. Parenting is a physical challenge.
By that time, everyone had forgotten about my sister-in-law. I remember talking about how she had probably found a job somewhere. It was good, wasn't it? She had stopped coming to her parents' house, and for us, it was peaceful, ordinary days. However, a few years later, on Frank's second birthday, my sister-in-law, whom we had almost forgotten, suddenly appeared. Although the entire family was together that day, we were all stunned to see her return. My mother-in-law immediately said, Luciana, what's going on? That belly, what are you thinking? It turned out my sister-in-law was pregnant.
She casually said, Hey everyone, sorry for surprising you. Well, as you can see, I'm pregnant. It's my boyfriend's child, but he ran away the moment he found out. I thought about having an abortion, but, it seemed a bit pitiful. So from now on, I'll be relying on you guys.
Without a hint of remorse, we were shocked by my sister-in-law, who casually said such things. Moreover, she could casually say something disrespectful like that, leaving us dumbfounded.
What the hell are you thinking? Saying I'm pregnant with such a casual tone is absurd. You're about to become a parent, and your nonchalant attitude, casually mentioning it's a bit pitiful, I can't understand your mindset.
Despite Preston's words, it seems my sister-in-law still believes she can rely on us here.
She laughs and says, Why are you making such a scary face? It's not a big deal. Raising 1 or 2 kids is the same. By the way, the child in my belly is also a boy. So it works out perfectly, like siblings, right? Regina, don't you want the child to have a little brother too?
While Preston and my in-laws tried to persuade her to go back to her own home and get the runaway guy responsible to take responsibility, my sister-in-law remained unfazed. However, my perspective was different. After all, I hadn't gotten my revenge from that time yet.
I said I don't mind. Well, living together all the time might be difficult considering the small space, but for the short period until the birth, it should be fine.
Seizing the opportunity, she added, See? Regina is okay with it. So I'll live here from today until I settle after giving birth. It'll put Dad and Mom at ease, right? Even if it's not their first grandchild, I think they'll have more affection for their daughter's child.
Internally, I thought,
This person is truly an idiot. A fool like this, becoming a parent, the end is near.
I accepted my sister-in-law, which was unexpected for Ken and my in-laws. They seemed quite uneasy, but at that moment, I had no doubts. After all, this was my strategy. From the next day, I started saying,
Good morning. Luciana, how long are you going to sleep? Hurry up and get up. Let's prepare breakfast together. Besides, there's a vegetable sale in the shopping district today, so as soon as we finish cleaning, we'll head out.
My sister-in-law, without showing any intention of getting out of bed, replied,
What are you talking about? I'm pregnant. Show a little consideration for me.
Yes, I'd been waiting for these words.
What? What are you saying? You haven't forgotten what you said when I was pregnant, right? Like not treating pregnancy as an illness, not pampering just because I'm pregnant even when I'm not feeling well, making me do cleaning and laundry, and preparing snacks for drinks. Have you forgotten? I still remember it clearly. You'll experience the same, so be prepared.
I said, glaring at her with a cold voice. My usually quiet demeanor shocked my sister-in-law.
She weakly responded, but I'm pregnant.
So what are you saying? If you thought being pregnant meant you'd be treated specially, you're completely wrong. Right now, I'm managing everything in the house, and if you can't listen to what I say, how about leaving?
I added, hammering the point.
Well, understood. I'll do it, okay?
Saying that, my sister-in-law reluctantly got up and helped with the housework as I instructed.
What are you doing? It's too early for a break. If you can't keep your promises, then you can leave the house, you know?
I consistently used such threats, beginning the process of educating her to handle at least her own affairs. Having lived freely until now, my sister-in-law, who had never experienced such strictness, reluctantly followed my instructions, in tears. If she complained, she didn't know what would happen, so she obediently did the household chores as I instructed. And before we knew it, after just 1 month of continuously being scolded by me, the once cheeky sister-in-law surprised Preston and our in-laws by saying,
Oh, Regina, I think I'll wake up a bit early tomorrow and try making breakfast by myself.
Regina, you're amazing. I respect you.
and that made me laugh. Well, we don't know when my sister-in-law will leave, but during the time we live together, I plan to continue conveying basic household chores, gratitude towards parents, and essential lessons for raising children. Later on, my sister-in-law safely gave birth to a baby boy. At the hospital, facing my mother-in-law and me, she tearfully said,
Mom, I didn't know giving birth to a child would be this difficult. I'm sorry for saying arrogant things until now. Regina, thank you for teaching me important things, despite what I'm like.
We couldn't help but laugh at her words. Moving forward, we plan to discuss how my sister-in-law and the newborn child will live together after leaving the hospital. If we end up living together, of course, we'll continue the strict education as we have been doing so far.